Ladies and gentlemen, I have tricked you because that's not me, okay? This is me. You've been on my channel 10 times. We went on 3 dates. You told me I was handsome. We even held hands, but you still didn't subscribe to my channel. Tell me why, okay? No, it's okay. I'm doing brand new stuff here. If you want to see this stuff in the future, it's AutoCAD 2022. We're going from the very basics of isometric 3D block modeling all the way to the advanced 3D modeling in one single playlist. So if you want to see it, you got to subscribe. You got to like the videos. You got to comment. Tell me what you do and don't like. That way I can make this content perfect for you. So do me a favor, follow me on this journey. Here we go. I'll see you out there. Ladies and gents, welcome back to our next 3D model. Check it out. 2 circles, 100 apart. We have tangent lines touching the outsides of both circles, and then we have a wedge between them with a little keyway here, okay? So I'm gonna start with this side over here, and I'm gonna start from the top view since I can see everything down from the top view here. I've got 2 circles. They are both diameters. That little circle with a line through it stands for diameter. Don't forget about your initial settings. O, S, enter. Make sure that midpoint, obviously endpoint center, and tangent are turned on. F10 must be turned on. That is polar, which is giving you your green line. F11 must be turned on. That's object snap tracking. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to go to a point and slide off of it and count up in any direction you'd like. And F12 is called dynamic input. I always have that off because when it's on, these little boxes float around next to your cursor, and I don't like that. So I'd rather type down in the command line. I always have F12 off. All right. Here we go. Looking at the drawing. I've got a 24 diameter and a 42 diameter. Make sure when you are in the circle tool that you click your point down and then you hit diameter. We've got 24 and then same center point, diameter 42. Now take a line at the center of this and go 100 to the right. This one has a diameter, inside diameter of 36 and an outside diameter of 64. So 36 and 64. Oops, almost forgot to hit diameter there. 64. Now, what you're gonna have to do, you can get rid of this line now for now. We'll do the wedge later. You're gonna take a line here and you're gonna go on the outside of the circle where you're gonna get a tangent point. Now, if this causes it to snap to the center of the circle, we're gonna have to go into OS enter and turn off everything else except for tangent. So leave tangent on, and that should allow you to get on the outside of the circle to the outside of the circle. And then outside of circle to outside of circle. Okay, so we've got that top drawn pretty nicely. The parts that are gonna go. All right, let's think about this. Okay, so the bottom part is a thickness of 12. Okay, so if I were to, I want to actually make a copy. I'm gonna make a copy of this entire thing. I think it's gonna make it a little easier. So just make a copy out here, and then now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna trim that, and I'm actually gonna delete these circles. And the reason being is that when I go to join this together, join, I can extrude that down 12 or up 12, doesn't matter. And that's gonna be the outside rim, which is just this tall all the way around. Now I'll bring back my other circles and I'll extrude up. This is 24 total, so we'll go up 12. And this is 36 total, so we will go up 24. So we're gonna go up 12 and 24. All right, so let's get back to our top view for a second. And then just a little orbit. I'm gonna take that and that for now. Actually, we'll take the inside ones as well. And we're gonna move those over from the center of one of those circles. We gotta turn that back on, OS enter, turn back endpoint, midpoint, center. We can turn tangent off now. I like intersection. And extension is good too. All right, so take these two, take those two, move, from the center of one of the circles to the center of the, and you got to hover over the circle to get this point sometimes, right there. Now, this one and this one, oh, actually, we got to do them at separate times. This one gets extruded 12. This one extrude 24, positive numbers. Then I'm going to take these two circles and I'm going to move them to that top surface. So I hover over the circle to get that center point, and then I hover over this circle out here to get that center point. I want it to be at the top, okay? Move again, grab this one. See how I'm not getting a center point, but if I go over the circle, then it gives me a plus that I can click on. I now want to do a union of the big bottom with these two circles, or these two 3D models that we have here. And you hit enter. And let's look at that on conceptual for a second, and that looks pretty good. I'm now going to take the other circles and extrude those through, and you could just say, okay, let's do this one -24, and let's do that one -36, but it actually doesn't matter how far you go through, as long as you just go through the entire thing. So subtract, main model, enter, and you can do both of these at the same time, enter, or spacebar. I hit it spacebar sometimes. Spacebar and enter do the same thing. And we get this, okay? Now we're looking at the ramp piece. Oh, I'm sorry, we have to do the keyway cut too. So let's do that first. So from the top view, I'm gonna draw a line here, and I'm actually just gonna draw this through for now. All right, so the keyway is 12 by 6, and what you're gonna do with this line is you're gonna do an offset of 6. You're gonna go 6 up and 6 down. By the way, just make sure that we are working on the top surface, which I am not right now. You could work on the bottom because it's gonna go through all the way, but I'd rather work on the top. So I'm just gonna move this stuff from the bottom to the center of the top of those circles. If you need to, you can change these lines to be a different color if that makes it any easier. I just want like a slight orbit here just so I can see what's going on. And then we're gonna go from this point here. There's an intersection right there that we want, but we can't get that intersection without having another circle here. This is not a circle, what I'm on right now. This is part of a 3D model. You need that same circle size, which is gonna be here to about there, but you also are not gonna get a snap on that 3D model. So we're gonna do a radius of 18 or diameter of 36, whatever you want. And then that's gonna allow me to get this intersection here and draw to there. All right, so I'm actually going to change those colors because I think it's going to be easier to see what I'm trying to do here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to be colored red. I went back to drafting an annotation. Okay, so it's a 12 by 6 keyhole. This is 12 from here to here. And I connected the points where they are touching that circle that I created. That is where I'm going to go offset 6. Whoops, wrong way. And get rid of that one. Okay, now we can do some trimming. I can trim that. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of the middle one now. And I can trim that. So now you can see I couldn't just take a line. Let's go to the top. Whoops. By the way, this stuff can go. I couldn't just take a line at the edge of this curve here and go, 6 over from that. Because let's just pretend, I'm going to put this point here. 6 from there would get you out here. But we want the edge of it to be 6, this line. So I had to connect this intersection to this intersection in order to do my offset of 6, okay? So get rid of this line. I'm going to change the color of that double circle that we have. I'm going to make that red. Okay. And then I'm going to trim the rest of it and just leave this little point right here. Now we have a closed shape, a closed profile that is on the top that you can join. And that, my friends, will get extruded down through the entire model. And now that I'm doing this, I'm thinking that it may have been easier initially when we had the circles and they were flat to create that little shape. And then you would have trimmed right here and you would have had this keyway open And that would have been a join rather than just the circle extruded down and subtracted away from the big one. But it works either way. So I'm going to do a subtract now. Remember that I just went through the bottom. Doesn't matter how far you go as long as you go all the way through. Subtract from the main model, enter, small model, enter. And on conceptual, you'll see that that works out, okay? All right, so here comes the fun part. This is the wedge, okay? It's a little bit of a challenge, but we are going to get through this together, okay? Here we go. So, go back to 2D wireframe. The wedge, whoops, goes from one side to the other, but you'll notice that it ends up a little lower than the top surface because the curve is going away, okay? So we can't just simply connect from this point to this point. And the reason is, yeah. The reason is that when you go to offset that line, you now have a diagonal line in space that you're not able to extend to anything to make it longer as it gets shorter. So let me explain why it gets shorter. Take two circles, go at the center of this, and also you can force it to find a center point or really any point you want by typing the first three letters of what it is. So in this case, if I want the center, I'm going to type CEN, enter, and it's only going to find center points. You can do that with mid, MID, enter. You can do that with end, EED, END, enter. You can do that with tangent, TAN, enter, anything you want, okay? So I'm going to connect from there at that center point, and I'm going to draw my 21 circle. And then I'm going to connect on this one. And if you can't get that center point, CEN, enter, and then float over this circle, and boom. And this one is 32. Now, I'm going to take these and I'm going to copy them up to the top surface as well. So we'll go up 12 for that one. Copy. 24 for this one. I'm going to take a line and I'm going to go on this midpoint right here. And I'm going to go to that midpoint right there. Now, if you're not getting those, then you have to go to the center again and you got to draw 21 and then go from that point over. And you would go off of this center, 32, and then draw from that point, okay? So now I've got this line that is exactly what I want. From the top view, you'll see now, like I was talking about before, if I offset this 6, it's going to end up short of the circles, and it's going to end up short of that circle as well. But since I have those circles on that bottom level, I'm able to extend it to those circles, and it's still at the bottom at the flat surface. If I was floating up here up top, it would be a diagonal line in space that would get extended, which would then get extended down lower than this top surface and higher than this surface, which is kind of hard to explain, but take my word for it. You want to do this at the flat surface, and you want to go with the line here, and we're going to go up 12. And we're going to go off of this one, and we're going to go up 24, and then we're going to connect them. And if you're not getting an endpoint here, END, enter, boom. Now I can get rid of that. I can get rid of the circles. And I thought maybe I erased it by accident, connected these. Those four join, you get a 3D polyline, and you'll see the position of where that is. And now we're going to extrude, and it's going to go 12. It's 6. Yeah, it's 12. 12 total. All right. So now with that being said, this model on conceptual is done. The last thing you want to do is union them together. And let me reset my view back to the top and the bottom right corner, and boom, we are done. So while I have your attention, please subscribe to the channel. Please, 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 if you're watching my videos. 87% of the people that watch these videos do not subscribe, which is very strange to me because you're getting free content, and I'm doing that basically as a big favor to the world, okay? Also, like the video if you like this stuff, if you're, learning anything, and also turn on the bell if you want to get future notifications, all right? So I will see you in the next one. Later.